Right. So, what we discussed in the previous about systems analysis or the role of a systems analyst, right? What systems analyst is all about, what systems analysis is all about, and why systems are required for any solution when we are going to develop as far as application developments are concerned. Today, I am giving you a high-level understanding over the systems analysis from the high-level point of view. This is majorly focusing on few areas. There are three different areas where one must be knowledgeable with, because being a systems analyst, if he wants to transform our career as a business, as a systems analyst, so we must be having a clarity as well as the exposure, experience, and all everything on these three areas. One is about the environment area. Second is information systems research, followed by the knowledge base. So information environment, when we talk about environment majorly deals with the different people, right? So because end of the day, whatever the solution are we providing, so once the analysis of the system was done, when the solution was given, end of the day, this is being used by the people, right? This is where generally people come into picture, right? So people means what are the people are involved in it, right? So what are the roles of the people, right? So depends on the kind of role what they are performing. The activities in using of that application might vary. So we must be having a knowledge over the roles of the people. At the same time, what are their work capabilities, followed by the characteristics and all everything comes under the people part. Now, when it comes to the organization side, organizations majorly focusing on the kind of strategy, because every organization, irrespective of technology and domain, strategies are something will be an integral part of any organization, right? So building the strategy, implementing the strategy, for that what kind of tactics to be followed is what something which organizations do. So should have a detailed understanding over the strategies, followed by the structure of the organization. Next, culture, organization culture, followed by the kind of processes what they are following. All these are comes under the organizations part. The next was technology. Technology, nothing but the infrastructure. So what infrastructure are we using while we are developing a solution, right? So either it can be an on-premise application, like we have different data centers, right? So firewalls, network firewalls, routers, right? So workstations, we have all that. If it's a cloud application, then it's a virtual environment, right? So every deployment as well as the workstations and all everything in virtual missions, right? So in the cloud services and all. This is where general infrastructure come into picture. Next one about the applications. What are the different multiple applications are we using in it? Followed by the communications architecture, right? So how are we communicating? At the same time, what are the different development capabilities do we have? This is all something which comes under the environment part. So once we have identified the environment, there must be a relevancy of business needs should be taken into consideration, wherein we need to develop and build different theories and artifacts, right? So wherein we have to assess these, right? So using different analytical tools, or is by performing some case studies, or doing some experiments, right? So done some field study simulations, right? So this is all something which normally we have to assess. So once we have assessed, we need to refine those, right? So building these and refining those is also one of the key and important element. When there is any kind of application in the appropriate environment we are developing, this is something which we need to identify, right? It's information systems research, where we need to identify how this can be developed, how this can be built, what are the different artifacts we have, right? Let's say, for example, when we are going for agile and all that, so what artifacts, scrum artifacts we are following, right? So if it is a traditional model, what kind of practices and artifacts are we performing? All these are comes under the information systems research part. Next, knowledge base. Knowledge base can be of anything, because knowledge from the context of the foundation of information we have identified. It's majorly focusing on the kind of theories we have implemented, or the kind of frameworks we have initiated here. What are the different instruments or the frameworks we are using, right? So let's say when we are developing an application, as far as architecture itself is concerned, we have different enterprise application frameworks like TOGAF, Jackmin, right? So all these will be used in this regard. At the same time, what are the different instruments we have, right? So what are the different constructs, and what are the models? Either it can be traditional model like waterfall model, V model, all that, or else it can be agile, right? So what are the different methods are we using in instantiations? All these things are comes under the knowledge base, under the foundations. Next one about the methodologies. This is where something it varies, because when it comes to the methodology, if we are working on some data analysis, data related projects, see, web applications, right? So these are all comes under the web related stuff. Using Java and all everything, we develop that. And even we use multiple frameworks like TOGAF, Jackmin, Scrum framework. At the same time, we use Sprint, right? So Sprint, we use Spring framework, right? We use Struts framework, all these things. But when it comes to the data analysis projects, there are different data analysis techniques normally we use. Different data analysis techniques like Python, right? So chi-square testing, weighted average, right? So different statistical tools we use even. So either it can be start with even Excel also. Excel also part of data analysis, I can say. R programming, right? So these are all something which is when we are focusing on data analysis projects as a systems analyst. So if it's a traditional model, then whatever the frameworks and techniques I have mentioned you, so those are all comes into picture. So if there is any data analysis projects, normally there will be some formulas will be there, some formalizations and all. At the same time, there must be some measurements to ensure, and at the same time validating the criteria, right? So all these things, this is all something which normally will be added a knowledge base and all everything when you are going to develop and build any kind of application as far as the solution is concerned. So this is what an high level understanding, being a systems analyst, one must be good and familiar with. So if you want to become a systems analyst or business systems analyst, this is something essentially required to have a detailed understanding over the environment, about the information systems research, knowledge base. All these things must be good with. So that it is more effective, right? So as far as the role of a systems analyst is concerned, business systems analyst, it will be more effective to perform much better. So this is all about the session today. If you have any questions, please go ahead.